Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RAL Room Assisted Living podcast. I am your co host, Dr. Alex Schloe, and today I'm recording this episode coming off an absolutely incredible few days. Just outside of Houston, Texas, we had a RAL Room Assisted Living Mastermind event with over 30 members of the mastermind community in attendance, and it was absolutely incredible. The call that you're going to hear, or the presentation rather, by Aaron Ameen, is something that we shared during that weekend, and we knew we couldn't wait to get that information out to the rest of you. Because what's happening inside the RAL room right now is bigger than just adding a few calls or a couple resources. This really is the next evolution of the RAL room assisted living mastermind community. Over the last 5 months, we've spent a ton of time listening to members, collecting feedback, seeing where people are getting stuck, and honestly, watching a lot of folks level up fast. But what started as people simply interested in assisted living has turned into operators opening homes, investors buying properties, members raising capital, and more people looking at larger projects, new developments, and scaling real businesses. And because of that, we realized that the community needed to evolve too. So, in today's episode, Aaron Ameen gave a presentation at the event where he shared where the RAL Room is heading, the major investments we're looking into the community, and what that means for you over the next 6 to 12 months. Aaron Ameen was one of our mastermind members who joined on day one and is now our COO. And another huge update is we're officially bringing on Angela Burrow as our head of operations. Angela brings real world in the trenches operator experience from running residential assisted living homes for years. She's handled staffing, residents, systems, day to day operations, and all the things that people don't fully understand until they're actually in the business. She'll now be helping us build out a much deeper operations curriculum inside the mastermind, leading operator focused office hours, workshops, and sharing the actual systems, templates, documentations, and playbooks that she uses in the real world. This is a massive step forward for members who are either already operating or preparing to make that jump soon. But look, that's not the only big announcement. We're officially partnering with Done Project Solutions. And this is something that we're incredibly excited about because one of the biggest trends we've seen recently is more and more members want to build custom residential assisted living homes from the ground up or expand existing properties or take on larger development and renovation projects. The problem is that development is expensive to learn through mistakes. And that's why we wanted real experts in house. The Done Project Solutions team has collectively played key roles in over $4 billion worth of commercial real estate and construction projects. They've already been working alongside us on our Everwood Reserve 32-bed memory care development community headed up by Aaron and Andrea Amin, and now they're officially becoming part of the community. What this means for members is access to real-world development and construction education, guidance on budgets, timelines, contractor management, monthly office hours for development projects and renovations, pre construction support, architect and design team connections, and helping you evaluate deals and avoid costly mistakes before they happen. And honestly, that is one of the biggest missing pieces we've seen in this industry. There are a lot of people teaching theory online, but very few communities are actually surrounding members with the operators, developers, construction professionals, architects, and real world teams required to successfully execute these projects. That's where we believe the RAL Room Assisted Living Mastermind is becoming different. Whether you're trying to open your first 10-bed home, lease a property to an operator, scale a multi home portfolio, develop a 16-bed memory care home from the ground up, or eventually build a larger senior housing business, we want this community to become the place where you can find the education, the network, the support to actually make it happen. And the truth is, we are just getting started. So, in this episode, Aaron is going to share the full breakdown of how we're restructuring support by stage, what new resources are being added, where the community is going, and why I believe the next few years in residential assisted living are going to create massive opportunity for people who are willing to take action. Let's get into it. And if this has interested you, go ahead and join our next free webinar on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern to learn more. Let's rock and roll.
Somewhat brief session, but wanted to finally reveal what we were teasing last night and talk about where the RAL Room is going with the rest of 2026. First, real quick, How many people were at the Phoenix event in November last year? Yeah, you were technically. We had an amazing 2-hour long conversation where we were asking members where people were getting stuck, feedback on the community experience, all sorts of stuff. And I know the guys really took it to heart. And this event is almost 6 months later. And it's pretty extraordinary, kind of some of the changes that came out of that event that have already taken place, and even more excited about what's to come. The community really has evolved a lot, even just in the past few months. We're at around 150 members right now and counting. And the things that made this community successful leading up until now are being tested. The capacity to serve people in the way right from day one has stretched, and the team has gotten bigger as a result to try and handle some of that capacity. But the way that this community can really serve people when we get to 200 members, eventually 300 members, requires a different set of skills and tools. We're also noticing that a lot more people are actually, thankfully, entering the phase of either opening or operating their home. And so there's a new set of needs that have emerged as people are thankfully succeeding in this program and getting towards launching. So as those needs evolve, we needed to properly kind of segment these things and find a way to serve everybody. But the big question that kind of weighed on our minds is, how do we continue to support all these different needs, all these specialized situations, different states, different stages of business, without the team becoming the bottleneck? These three gentlemen right here have done, it's nothing short of incredible, launching this thing, getting it up and running, attracting the type of people that are in this room who, as I think hopefully everyone has seen this weekend, incredible talent, really driven group. The culture here is next to nothing, in my opinion. But there's only so much of them to go around, right? Obviously, I'm standing up here. Since Phoenix, you guys brought me in. We've been able to not only invest in the member experience, but also we're excited to be even growing the team more. We've kind of seen two tracks emerge. There are a lot of people that are attracted to be part of the RAL Room because maybe they're already operating homes, or they have some experience or momentum and they just want to be around other people that are doing the thing to become better. Then there are other people that are at the very beginning of their journey who are in a bit of a more of a sprint or an acquisitions phase. When people are at the beginning, it's actually where typically the most friction is felt because you don't feel clear. You don't feel like you have a roadmap yet. And so the way that you would serve these two different parts of the community are different. And we're starting to recognize that a little more clearly. What we've done is actually break it into a few different tracks that will allow us to better serve people based on where they are. So there's 4 core pillars that have emerged as part of the organization here. There's the community, which I already mentioned. That's the real DNA of what makes this group great. It's the people, it's the culture, it's the mutual respect we have for ourselves and each other, and all that stuff. But within that, it's not just you guys, it's how we run the community. So a lot more dedicated attention into how people engage with each other, making sure that people are introduced to each other. If there's a need, like really paying attention at that granular level, but at scale. Second is acquisitions. So that's what I just mentioned, where a lot of people are starting. They know where they want to be, but they don't know quite yet how to get there. So there's a lot of work that we're doing on the first 30, 60, 90 days of a new member's journey, where not only are they going to come in and have very clear, it's not going to be drinking the whole course from the fire hose, really helping people get through that so that they find the clarity they need in order to move forward. That is its own specialized section of the member journey. Then operations. So this is as our members continue to advance and get towards opening their homes. There's a lot that goes into that. Buying the real estate, renovating it, getting it licensed, all that stuff is a difficult journey in and of itself. But operating the home is even arguably more challenging, or it can be. And so really putting the right people in the right seats, which we'll talk about in a second, to help prepare people for that reality and give the systems that have actually worked in other homes. And then enablement. This is a layer that kind of underpins everything. This is the technology, the tools, how we use AI, how we gather intelligence and do market studies and reports. So that's a whole layer in and of itself. How can we run these businesses, not from a care standpoint, but from an efficiency standpoint as operators of businesses? Some people have never run a small business or never even experimented with some of these tools. So we want to give special attention to how those tools are applied across the RAL journey. Here's a little more about kind of what those pillars are. Kind of just went through this, but we will be communicating along these pillars when we roll out new content and some of the new calls we're going to talk about. All right, so now the actual announcements. We're very excited to welcome Angela as our Angela has been a member now for almost a year. She has over 5 years experience running an 8-bed home in Wisconsin. And she also embodies everything that we love about the culture of this community and what it means to be a leader. She's going to talk a little more in a minute, but do you want to say anything? Introduce yourself?
No, yeah. So I'm Angela. If you have not met me yet, like he said, I've been operating a home for about 5 years, coming on 6 actually. And I'm just very excited to be part of this team. I'm so excited to be moving with you guys and growing with you guys and helping all of you really get that operational piece under control, learn from my experiences and be able to share all of that with you guys. So I appreciate everything. And yeah, I'm so excited.
Awesome. And we'll share more about the content in a minute. Awesome. So yeah, we'll share a little bit more about the content she's creating in just a second. Second, within operations, Jen Ulrich, who she's not here right now, but you guys anyone who was here yesterday, you saw her home. She's right in the thick of it. She's a great example of somebody who shows up at the beginning when she joined the RAL Room. She hadn't even opened that home or really fleshed out her vision. And now she's doing the thing halfway through a ramp up. And so she'll be running a pod that is specifically for people who are in that ramp up and operator phase. And it will be by invitation for people who have passed that milestone. The reason being that the types of conversations that you have when you're in that phase are a little bit different. So we want to create that container for operators to really dig into their ramp up plans, staffing, et cetera. And so Jen will be running that pod and Angela will also be there to help kind of keep things moving. Development. Some of you guys might have met Blake last night. He's going to be running the site tour at Everwood here in a few minutes. He and his partner, Bailey, run a company called Done Project Solutions. They've supported Everwood Reserve as our owners reps and construction managers. They've done incredible work. And we worked out a deal with them where they're going to come in and actually provide some additional calls and additional support on construction, renovations, picking GCs. They're going to build out some educational modules and also even provide some discounted services for members who need a pre-construction support as you're scoping out your projects. And then lastly is the enablement layer. So if you guys haven't met Ryan Shooter yet, Ryan is a total rock star. Ryan, come up here.
Wow.
This guy knows more about AI in his sleep than I do awake, but he loves building out different solutions. He's been part of the RAL Room team actually for, I think, over a year now, right? And the open range. We want him to be more integrated with the community, but he's a problem solver.
Hey there, sorry to interrupt this episode, but I've got a question for you. Do you want to share in the wealth and incredible returns from the highest demand asset class in real estate without the hassle of doing it all yourself, or at least not yet? Residential assisted living is booming and it's only gaining momentum. That's why we created an investment fund at Open Range Capital, so you can benefit without the heavy lifting. With the silver tsunami upon us, demand for assisted living is far outpacing supply, making this the can't miss opportunity for the next few decades. We provide access to fully vetted investment opportunities that are primed for success and ready to deliver strong passive returns. Don't wait, ride the wave with us. Visit theralroom.com/invest to partner with us on future investment opportunities. Again, that's the RALroom.com/invest. We look forward to connecting with you. Now back to the episode.
He's a critical thinker. He's going to help us really own that enablement layer of how do we take the tools and technology that's available to us today and use it to make our businesses better. So if you haven't gotten to know Ryan yet, I encourage you to chat with him throughout the rest of the weekend.
For more.
So Luke, I actually would love to have you share, coming out of Phoenix, we started doing a roadmap. Here you go. Yep. We started doing a roadmap of what content to create and in what order. And we actually made a ton in Q1, and Luke led the charge on that.
Yeah, so with the Lisa Cini design modules, we partnered up with Lisa to provide the alignment formula. And no matter what stage of your journey you're on, we knew that this was going to be something that could benefit, because you're going to look at the cost of everything, figure out if design or doing construction is right for you. It's been great. And we're going to button that all up and put it into a module. And then I created the leased operator course from our experience that we derived since the beginning, 2022. And that's really it. I'm so excited about the people that we're investing in more than these things, which are great. And we're going to keep continuing to bring content. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
Awesome. All that stuff is live in school already. So the leased operator course, if you haven't seen it yet, It's, I think, 10 modules, and it really goes top to bottom. Even if you're not doing lease to operator model, there's a ton of great stuff about real estate and how to think about due diligence and operators. You really download from all three of you guys, your brains, how you have put that strategy into practice. And then Lisa Cini has over 30 years of experience in her domain. So we're very lucky to have her as a partner.
I'll add to the lease to operate, of course, there's different reasons that people come into this space. And our background was real estate investing. So when we saw that we could buy properties and then touch into the assisted living space and commercially lease it without being across the country and in the military, this was a way we could get involved in it. So not everybody's going to want that, but certainly some people will. And there's so many different avenues of what you can take. There's the 4 pillars. As you get deeper and deeper on your path, you're going to find different inefficiencies with the space that you can actually dive in deeper on. So this is just one way we can do that. And with better team members and better people helping us along this journey, we're going to continue to grow that out. Yeah. So I'll just add that.
Thank you. Give that to Angela now. So that is what we rolled out last quarter, but we're very excited about what's coming up now. Operations, curriculum, we got templates and all sorts of stuff that Angela's going to add. So do you want to share some of what you're building?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I am going to be building some curriculum modules for the RAL Room, going over everything in operations. So from staffing, hiring, firing, assessing your residents, making sure that they're a good fit for your home, knowing what to do once they get in your home. All of the nitty-gritty of everything in operations I will be building out in a course module. And then also sharing all of the templates that I've used and built to be able to share with you guys so that you guys have all the paperwork and things that you guys need in order to move forward with your operations. And I would love to, if there's things that you guys are looking for too, I would love that feedback as well.
As I mentioned earlier, we're partnering with Done Project Solutions. They'll also be doing 2 things. One is adding some educational modules around construction management. Again, trying to attack the biggest problems that we've heard that people have around finding GCs, how to understand contract management for GCs, how to build construction schedules. There's a bunch of different content we're going to be working with them on over the coming quarter. And more importantly, right, so these calls are great. These education modules are coming out someday soon. Great. What's going to help me now? We're going to be starting operations and construction themed office hours that aren't just led by us, right? They're led by people that know how to do the very specialized skills. So Angela will be running the operator office hours, and then the Done Project Solution guys, along with probably one of us on every call, will be rolling out. So that'll be on a monthly cadence, most likely starting in June, with the others embedded in the community so you can start asking questions now. And what's from here, sorry, I kind of just ran through this. We'll also kind of shift to where the founders are running a little more of the high-level strategy calls and doing things that are more just specific to their skill sets and the ways they can add the most value, and then shift the topical-based ones to the experts. So part of that is because I think we've had a really great rhythm of doing these open office hour calls, but people are coming in with all sorts of different, sometimes unrelated problems. And so when people show up, they don't know what to expect. And they're not sure if it's the best use of their time. We're not sure if we're we might be the right person to answer question 1, but not question 2. So we do believe this segmentation will help you guys know what to expect and also give you better and quicker answers to your actual problems. So really the rest of this time, we have about 30 minutes until we need to round up and start going to Everwood. This is all for questions and feedback. Everything on this presentation was a result of feedback. And I believe the continued improvements of the community will continue to be that way. So any questions, feedback, things you'd like to see, floor is open.
I do want to preface it that the feedback that we got in Phoenix, for those of you that were there, hopefully you've seen that we've implemented a lot of that. And yeah, because as I told you there, you guys are the stakeholders of this community. You guys are creating this with us. And when we started this, the original intent was like, hey, we are going to be learning alongside this community that we build. And we just want to meet new people and network. And because we want to expand on our journey in this space, we knew that we didn't know everything. And it's so great that we're bringing on experts, and we still won't be able to have experts in every field of this, but we can do our best. And you guys are experts in your own way that we're going to be learning from. That is why we implemented the feedback from Phoenix. That is why we ask you, because we are on not even 2 years of this thing. So we have a long way to grow. I'll preface it with that. We're going to be taking notes. And so please give us your honest feedback so that we can continue to change this for the better.
Thank you for tuning in to the RAL Room Assisted Living Podcast. We hope you found today's episode insightful. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave us a raving 5-star review. And a quick review helps more listeners find the show and more seniors get the exceptional care they deserve.
And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And just so you know, we have prepared some free resources for you to help you succeed in residential assisted living in addition to this podcast. Head over to theralroom.com, that is the RAL room.com, to download our free 10-step guide to launch your first or next residential assisted living home, or our 10 reasons to passively invest in residential assisted living ebooks.
And if you're ready to take the next step and make real moves in the RAL industry, join us in the RAL Room Mastermind. It is an exclusive community where we deep dive into everything you need to launch and grow your own residential assisted living business. You'll get access to recorded courses, live calls with industry experts, a RAL calculator, resources and tools, like-minded entrepreneurs, funding opportunities, and an expert networking community to help you along your journey.
Be sure to join us next time on the RAL Room Podcast as we continue to explore the world of residential assisted living with more great guests. See you then.